What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Untitled Gaming Channel. I'm AJ Gills. How's it going? Welcome back to the weekly show. Yes, I'm late again. Blame my friends. I went out with a couple guys that I work with yesterday to go see Ready Player One, and I'm going to do kind of a vocal review of that before we get into our first article, kind of like what I did with Tomb Raider. But we were going to go see the film, going to come back to my apartment, we were going to play A Way Out. Problem is, when we got out of Ready Player One, it was about 1 in the morning, and then we stood outside the theater and just gushed for about 30 minutes. So by the time we stopped playing, it was like or by the time we kind of went our separate ways, it was 1:30 at night. So we didn't end up playing A Way Out. That Let's Play will happen. It's just trying to get schedules and everything to work out and all of that. And then basically I came home, and I would have done this, except I had to get up early this morning and go to work. And then I came home for lunch and then had more work to go out and do after that. So, either way, here we are, weekly show. Like I said, I went to see Ready Player One yesterday. We'll follow that with news. As always, links and timestamps will be in the description, and then we'll end out today with something Samori Roden sent me over PSN. He suggested me making an E3 prediction video. I don't have enough info or anything to guess E3. I'm not good at that kind of stuff, but I'll give you some of my E3 wants and stuff that I'm pretty damn sure will happen. But before any of that, like I said, I've rambled enough. Ready Player One. Go see it. Phenomenal movie. Well, I'm gonna take a step back from that just a little bit. I would say this. I enjoyed the film more than I would actually score it, if that makes sense. Technically I would score the movie at an 8. It has great special effects, amazing. One of the guys I was with said, because at one point King Kong is in the film. He says, that was the Kong that I wanted, not Skull Island. Like, the effects were gorgeous. The music was amazing. And I mean, I'm not talking the licensed stuff. I mean, there's some really great 80s tunes. That's the entire film. The book the film is based on was originally had a whole bunch of 80s references, and the film had, if you've seen the trailers, you see Chun-Li, you see Tracer. They're really not parts of the movie, but they're there. You'll see a whole lot of throwbacks and calls to pop culture from the 80s up until modern times. It's really cool if you keep your eyes out. It's a really, 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 really neat movie in that sense. But like I said, the effects were great. The original soundtrack was phenomenal. There was some oddly written dialogue. There was a scene where the main character looks at somebody and says, "You killed my mom's sister." And there were like 5 of us in the theater, and we all kind of were looking at each other going, "Wait a minute, you mean your aunt? Just say aunt. The fuck?" So that was kind of weird. There's some weird dialogues, but the performances were really well done. I think a lot of the acting was good. I don't think there was anybody who was just outright bad, but I think there were better performances than other. I think the lead role was kind of bland, but the main love interest, her name's her gamer name, whatever, is Artemis. She's the leading lady. She is her performance I thought was really good. The main character, the dude's, his was on the weaker end, but I think performances all around were good. There were some standouts, so be warned on that. I think the things that honestly took me out of the film were, like I said, was some poorly written dialogue. The actual writing as far as the story goes, as in how it's constructed and how we get from the beginning to the middle to the end, is actually really well done. Everything matters. Every little thing, it's one of those films that everything kind of leads into the next thing. There's stuff from the beginning that you didn't know was important, and you'll find out at the end. I'm trying to do this with as little spoilers as humanly possible. It's a very well constructive narrative that has really bad dialogue at times, but the actual story itself was really good, and that's what surprised me, because I was expecting reference the movie. It was just going to be a movie of, well, here's this reference and that reference, and here's another one, and here's this and this, blah 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 blah. Yeah, there's no substance to the film. There's no story. There's no, and there's nothing that connects all these references. It's just references. Really, there was a good story. story there, and it does switch between like in IRL in real life stuff and the virtual world, the Oasis stuff. The in real life stuff really does drag, and I think the film was like about 2.5 hours long. It felt like 3, because a lot of that IRL stuff to me just pulled and drug and drug and drug and drug. But for the most part, the film was amazing. It's like I said, on a technical level, I would give the movie an 8. On an actual enjoyment level, 10 out of freaking 10. I loved the film. It was so much fun just to sit. Like, there were times I'm just sitting there cringing my ass off, just going, oh, all the references. But but again, I enjoyed my way through the entire film. In the very end, I'm a little bit of a spoiler here. You get to see a Gundam fight Mechagodzilla. That was a freaking thing in that movie. It was really good, except that one of the guys I went to see that was looking at that going, is that Voltron? Is that? And he's like, what's a Gundam? And I'm like, it's from Mobile Suit Gundam. What's a Gundam? We had about a 3-minute conversation of me saying it's from Gundam, and he's like, well, what's Gundam? And I'm like, it's from Gundam, you piece of shit. It was all in all, really, I'm sorry, I'm fanboying a little bit too much. All in all, like I said, great movie. Go out and see it. It's, even if you aren't a massive fan of pop culture, I still think there's something here for you. There's still something here to enjoy. There's something there to watch and enjoy. But all in all, I mean, if you love pop culture, like video games and movies and like all that old shit, it's a really good movie, or at least maybe not a really good movie. It's a very enjoyable movie. The ending to me drags a little bit. It's kind of like the movie Arrival. If anybody saw that, it was a movie it had to do with aliens and those weird like squid aliens, that giant like weird seed thing land. It's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's called Arrival. Check it out. It's a good film. Very end of the movie, basically we find out there's some weird spoilers for Arrival, but the movie came out about a year ago, so whatever. At the very end of the film, we find out that there's like this weird time loop thing. This chick has memories from the past and the future. It's all kind of a big clusterfuck. Either way, I'm like, okay, I understand the concept. I understand what's going. Stop milking the ending. I want to get up and pee. But I have to see this kind of review. I'm doing a written review of this movie. Come on, let's go. Come on. But we just gotta keep drawing out the ending. I'm like, okay, you're just repeating the same. You're trying to hit me over the head with the same concept over and over and over again. That I understand the plot hole. Or not the plot hole. I understand the twist. Let's go. Sort of the same thing with Ready Player One. The ending is they're just kind of milking it a little bit. They're just kind of going, come on. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I get it. We're all friends now. All this stuff is great. Happily ever after, whatever. Come on, let's go. I'm ready to go home. It's 1 in the fucking morning. But all in all, like I said, very good movie. Go check out Ready Player One if you haven't already, or tell me your thoughts. If you have seen it, tell me your thoughts down in the comments. You can tweet at me, all that stuff. Links to all social medias in the description. Honestly, if you want to know how much I enjoyed the movie, I'm going to go see Ready Player One again tomorrow. If you can see, it's the 31st. I know the name of this video is a little weird. I said Happy Easter, but I really didn't have any. I couldn't find like an overarching theme in this video to come up with a title. So yes, it's the end of March when I say tomorrow, like Easter morning, because I'm not with my family. I'm still down at school, and tickets are cheaper in the morning, and I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm gonna go in at like 10 in the morning to go watch Ready Player One again. It was a great movie. I really liked it. Alright, so now that I've spent about 8 minutes nerding out, let's take a look at our first article. EA hiring for Star Wars open world project. Article IGN, Alex Osborne. Where's my mouse? There you are, mouse. Alright, article reads, if a recent job listing is any indication, Electronic Arts Vancouver Studio is working on an open-world Star Wars game. The listing, discovered by GameSpot on EA Vancouver's careers page, is for a lead online engineer who will, and I quote, lead a team to deliver online features for a Star Wars open-world project, end quote. While the job post doesn't provide much in terms of specifics about the project itself, we do know EA Vancouver is currently at work on the initially started on the initially started... God, on work on what... There we go. I was skipping a word for some reason. We do know EA Vancouver is currently at work on what initially started as the Amy Hennig-directed Star Wars project at Visceral Games. The game is being developed across EA's worldwide studios, with its Vancouver studio heading up production. Last year, EA announced that the Visceral project is being reshaped from a linear title to, and I quote, to be a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency, leaning into the capabilities of a Frostbite engine and remaining central elements of the game to give players a Star Wars adventure of greater depth and breadth to explore, end quote. I'm going to try and translate that. We are going to take a linear Star Wars shooter being made by Amy Hennig. So basically, what from Amy, I hear Amy Hennig, a linear Star Wars game. I know it was a shooter base. It was a shooter. I'm sitting here going, okay, she's making an Uncharted-like game with Star Wars. I think it could work, depending on the characters and everything. I think it could work. And Amy Hennig worked on Uncharted. She was, I think she was. Can't remember if she worked. I know she worked on the second one. I can't remember if she worked on the first one, but I know she worked on the second one, and I really liked I really liked all of them. But I digress. EA is basically taking her idea and saying, "Hey, let's make a game as a service concept. Let's make a game like The Division with Star Wars. We're already doing it with Anthem. Hey, you know what? This concept is gonna be great. Let's keep making these big, open-ended, no story games and just keep releasing them because that's what people want right now. And then we're gonna oversaturate the market and completely fuck ourselves." I'm sorry. I really think developers are oversaturating the market with these kind of games. Games like Anthem, games like Skull and Bones, The Crew, The Division. We're going to keep making these. Destiny, I think, is also one of them. I think Destiny was kind of the first that broke the floodgates, but we're going to keep trying to make these pseudo MMOs for consoles. The problem is we're going to make too damn many of them. And eventually companies are going to realize we can't make money on this. This isn't... Or we can't make as much money as if we would have made a single-player game. Or even if we're going to make a co-op game, do what EA was doing with A Way Out. Make a co-op game. And The Way Out was, from everything I've heard, is good. I'm a little ticked off that I can't play it solo, as in I can't have the computer control the other character. But I understand the point. The point is to interact with your partner and come and, discuss and plan who's doing what. I understand that. I'm still a little annoyed that I basically have to have a partner and I can't play it and experience the game solo. But again, I'm splitting hairs at this moment. It's different from these big games as a service sort of games, and I think that's what EA is trying to focus too much on right now. I mean, honestly, what I'd like to say, if you're gonna work on another open world Star Wars project, for the good love of God, send it over to BioWare. Make a new KOTOR. Or remaster the first KOTOR. God, I'd drop $100 on that, no problem. But instead, no, we're basically going to make the Old Republic for consoles. I have a really strong feeling we're just going to make they're going to make a Star Wars MMO for console. I don't trust EA right now that they're going to make something truly unique. They're going to make something that we've already seen. And again, I mean, that's EA's goal right now. But I can see where people would be excited to hear about this stuff. But basically hearing this paragraph, and I've kind of skated away from my main point here. Reading this paragraph goes, oh, we're taking a good idea and just shitting on it. I know I'm cursing a lot. I'm going to try and hold back. It's just this kind of makes me mad. Just because I said this after Andromeda, or after they said they were going to not make another Andromeda game, or after they said that we're going to not do any Andromeda DLC, even though people bought DLC for Andromeda, me included. I'm still pretty ticked off about that. I kind of want some of that money back. But again, my big thing with it is every time EA sees a place like, hey, we can make some money here, you know what? Let's do the opposite. Let's go the other way and just poo the bed, you mother. Okay, I'm going to get back on point here. Okay. Article continues. I think we're in our last paragraph. According to Electronic Arts, the decision to shut down Visceral and refocus the project wasn't because it was a single-player game. You sure about that? With EA VP Patrick Soderlund reaffirming this past October that story-driven single-player games are still part of the publisher's future. Where? What story-driven single-player game are you working on? I mean, the next Dragon Age? We haven't heard shit from that because you keep throwing everything BioWare's throwing out is about Anthem. And I get it, Anthem is their next game to come out, but at least give me something for the next Dragon Age. But what else is EA working on that isn't a multiplayer game or a sports game? What is it? Tell me. It isn't this. You've made it clear that this isn't a story-driven Star Wars game. Tell me, EA. This is why people hate you. And I know I'm not speaking to EA. I'm speaking to everyone out there who's listening to me, and all 8 of you. I love you guys. I'm sorry. That sounds like I'm ragging on like only 8 people watch this. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just making a joke. But no, this is why people are really hating EA right now. Is because they talk out of the side of their mouth. It's, oh, we're not doing this, even though it's what we're doing. We're going to lie right to your face, even though we're making clearly blatant other decisions. We're going to tell you one thing, but we're going to blatantly do the other. We're not even going to try to hide it. It's just every chance you have to reshape the public opinion or to make yourself look better, you just crap on it, EA. Come on. I didn't start this article wanting to be angry. I just, oh my god. All right, moving on, because I'm losing a little bit. PUBG's 4x4 kilometer tropical map is codenamed Savage. Test starts next week. We have an updated article by Christopher Livingston and Joe Donnelly of PC Gamer. All right, we're gonna start with the original story. The original story, at a talk at GDC in San Francisco today, Brendan Player Unknown Green showed off images of the upcoming 4x4 kilometer map coming to PUBG next month. The new map is 1/4 the size of the 2 existing PUBG's maps, Erangel and Miramar. I think Miramar is the desert one, and Erangel is the original one, which are 8x8 kilometers. The 4x4 KM map was first shown in concept art a couple weeks ago as part of PUBG's 2018 roadmap, and I quote, "It's a much smaller map and should give you all much more intense and fast-paced battle royale experience. It will offer a higher player density and shorter matches, and we want to get it into your hands early this time around so we can use your input to make it a great experience for everyone," end quote, wrote Green at the time. Here's some pictures of it if you'd like to. Like I said earlier, links to all these articles will be in the description below if you want to go check out any of these things in more detail. Alright, updated story. Testing for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds incoming 4x4 kilometer map, codenamed Savage, will kick off next week, PUBG Core has announced. In the Steam community update, the developer refers to the screens featured in our original story below and says it's making good on its promises at GDC to get players in early. Here's the post in full, and I quote, "Hello everyone, if you've been keeping up with all things PUBG, you may have already seen some screenshots and even a short clip from our upcoming 4x4 map. We promised you that you would get a chance to try the new map very early on, and we are delivering on that promise. We haven't released content so early in its development since our alpha testing stage. We're doing this because we want to start getting your feedback as soon as possible and drive the development in the right direction. So how is it going to work? At first, we are going to do a more limited test for Codename Savage to make sure that nothing is too broken. Again, it's a super early build. We hope you understand the next test will be bigger. The first testing window will open from the 2nd of April, 7 p.m. PDT, until the 5th of April, 4 a.m. PDT. We'll update you on Monday about how you can participate. Keep an eye on social channels to maximize your chance of getting a key. See you next week." In the video above, after a thank you message from Brendan Green and CH Kim, CEO of PUBG Core, you can see some footage of the new map in action. There's the video again. You can go check it out down in the description below. I'm not... I don't want to be super cynical here, but I have a very strong feeling that why they're doing this so early is to compete with Fortnite. I talked about this, I think it was last week's episode, that Fortnite beat PUBG's revenue for February. I think it was February. I think that might have gotten in their heads a little bit, and maybe that's why they're trying to get more content out for PUBG, which I think is kind of the difference between PUBG. One of the big differences between PUBG and Fortnite. I mean, I think there's the tone of the games, there's the art style, there's everything that I think Fortnite draws in a wider audience. While I think PUBG is for PUBG players and Fortnite players are different kinds of players. It's kind of like the difference between Call of Duty and CS:GO. I'm not saying that those are the exact differences. I think that it's just the people they draw are different. I'm using that aspect of those two games. Not trying to say that Fortnite isn't a serious shooter, just like Call of Duty isn't a serious shooter. They're just different from, I think, PUBG and what CS:GO is. So I think that's what I'm trying to get at here. But I would be my guess. I think that's why they're trying to do this. They're trying to get some more content out. Now, I don't think this is a bad move, but I think if PUBG rushes something too much, I think PUBG will they'll start to get into some trouble, because I think part of what PUBG's big draw is its more serious, and I don't want to say more serious tone, because you have people running around playing in underpants, but I think it's that more realistic aspect to it, and that more... how it really survived an entire year and didn't really lose buzz and only had one map. I don't think you need to rush things for PUBG. So that's my take on this, and I don't think there's anything to worry about. And if you're excited for this, you're excited for this. So moving on. We have Gaucamelee 2 coming soon to PC. Article Brian Barnett of IGN. Gaucamelee 2 is coming soon to PC via Steam. Drinkbox Studios shared the news in a post on Twitter. A specific release date for the Steam version has yet to be announced. The Gaucamelee 2 game page is now up on Steam, so any prospective luchadors can add it to their wish list or check the game's minimum system requirements in celebration of the announcement. In the upcoming 10th anniversary of Drinkbox Studios, the studio's games will be available on Steam for a hefty 90% off. Gaucamelee 2 will feature drop-in 4-player local co-op, new upgrade systems, and more. The game was announced for PS4 during last year's PlayStation Media Showcase pre-show at Paris Games Week. For more on the co-op Metroid-style brawler, check out 11 minutes of 4K PS4 Pro gameplay footage. Not really much to say about this. This was an addition for hey, this is happening. I liked the first Gaucamelee. I don't think I played it to completion. I have it somewhere on my PS4, somewhere in my library. I think I got it for free or severely discounted for a PS Plus 1 month. I think it was for free. It's just like I have Journey, and I know so many people are going to tell me, you haven't finished Journey. Actually, no, I haven't. It's been a time thing. But I know a lot of people really like Gaucamelee, and there you go. If you're interested and don't have a PS4, Gaucamelee 2 coming to PC. Final article before I take a small break, another really short one that's kind of a, hey, this is happening, because we talked about this, I think it was last week, that Hellblade Senua Sacrifice is probably coming to Xbox. Well, here we have officially, Hellblade Senua Sacrifice is coming to Xbox One this April. Article Elise Favis of Game Informer. Ninja Theory's Hellblade Senua Sacrifice is making its way to Xbox One soon its way to Xbox soon, as well as receiving enhancements for Xbox One X. There we go. Those playing on Xbox One X will have 3 enhancement modes to choose from, including enhanced visual modes, extra FX, and higher visual quality. High frame rate mode runs the game at 60 frames per second. And high-resolution mode up to 4K. As of tomorrow, March 26th, you can pre-order Hellblade for Xbox One for $29.99. It's released for the console on April 11th. Hellblade puts you in the shoes of Senua, a Celtic warrior who embarks on a vision quest in order to save her dead lover's soul. The title received praise for its unique and powerful portrayal of mental illness through the lens of Norse mythology. See, I think that was cool. Yet I find it interesting how they did the mental illness thing as a gameplay mechanic. How, Senua was hearing voices, but those voices actually help you in a gameplay aspect. How, you know, it's like behind you, and you know there's something attacking you from behind. I really like how it did that kind of stuff. I did get confused. Like, is this because she's crazy? I don't want to say crazy. Is this because she's mentally ill? I mean, I'll use the PC terminology. Or is everything happening because she's fighting the gods? Or is this all kind of an illusion? Like, they said Vision Quest in this, and yeah, sure. But also saying it's for her dead lover's soul. I disagree with that, because technically isn't she trying to, like, revive him? And then at the very end, she finds out that's not possible, and then she talks to the screen, breaks the fourth wall. All in all, Senua's Sacrifice was a very well done game. It was phenomenal, if you ask me. Really loved it. It was probably one of my favorite games last year. I had a lot of trouble making a top 10 list, and I kind of gave up for last year, just because last year was so hard to make a top 10, just because there's so many really good titles. Plus, although my number one was easy, that was Persona 5, and you know, deal with it, people. But Hellblade would have been up there. It was great. It was a great game. And again, now that it's on Xbox One, if anybody hasn't played it, go check it out. Really fun. Or you can also go check out my Let's Play for it. I did that. So there you go. There's the end of the first block. I think we have another 5 articles and my E3 predictions. We'll cover that in a moment after I take a chance to stand up, refill my beverage, all that. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in a second. Alright, guys, we're back with our second block, and we're starting with an IGN article. Level 5, basically all our future main titles coming to Nintendo Switch. Article Alex Osborne of IGN. Level 5 intends to be a big supporter of the Nintendo Switch going forward, and I quote, basically in the future our main titles will all be released on Nintendo Switch, end quote. Level 5 CEO Akihiro Hino, I cannot read, said in an interview published by Nikkei, I have no idea how to pronounce that, and translated by Gamatsu, and I quote, the idea is that we have created for 3DS will move over to the Switch, end quote. Level 5 is the developer, they say here, Level 5 is the development studio behind a number of popular series, including Yokai Watch, Professor Layton, and Ni no Kuni. The series' first title for the Switch is the Snack World Treasurer's Gold, I think that's how that's pronounced, which launches on April 12th in Japan. Along with those titles, they also did Rogue Galaxy, great games on PS4. There's the PS2, whatever, on PS4. Great game, go check it out, Rogue Galaxy. They also did a soccer game series, like a couple installments, I think, on the DS. There's a few on the 3DS. There's one on the Wii. It's a soccer anime / manga. It's not Captain Tsubasa, and it's not Area no Kishi. I can't remember for the life of me what it was called. I believe it was Dragon Quest VIII. They were responsible for. They've done a few other games too, along with those. They've done some pretty good JRPGs. This year marks the 20th anniversary of Level 5 to celebrate. Earlier this month, Hino teased a new project from the studio that will have a, and I quote, modern day setting, and modern day, end quote, setting, whatever, with an ambitious scale akin to that of a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, MMORPG. I ranted enough about that stuff in the beginning. Level 5's latest game, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, was released last week for PlayStation 4 and PC, for those, all in all, don't really have much to add to this. Again, this was a, hey, this is happening, check it out. I don't have enough love for Level 5 to kind of like go to bat for him. I just really like Rogue Galaxy. Love the crap out of that game. But I don't have enough love for Level 5 themselves to go to bat and say, oh, this stuff is going to be great. But I know a lot of people love some of these titles. I know I've known people who really like Yokai Watch, who aren't even big anime fans or whatever, they said Yokai Watch was actually pretty good. I've heard people say Professor Layton was really good, and I know Ni no Kuni had a pretty big cult following. So, you've stuff to get excited if you like Level 5, or if you just want more stuff to play on your Switch. Moving on. Article, Red Faction Guerrilla Re-mars-tered. Announced, yes, once again, Re-mars-tered. I quit. I'm out. Alright, original story. Article was original. Shabana Arif. Original story is as follows. THQ Nordic has announced a puntastic rematch. Okay, let's try and get through this without slamming my head into a desk. THQ Nordic has announced a puntastic remaster of Red Faction Guerrilla, coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One in Q2 2018. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition features native 4K support, improved lighting and shadow rendering, and fully reworked graphics. Xbox One X support will also be available at launch. Jeez, you can take a sneak peek at what all of that amounts to in the gallery below, and we'll kind of sync through. From what I remember of this game, was not that impressive. I mean, it was an open world game, involved a lot of just destroying things, but it was a lot of running around and not really a lot of payoff. In my opinion, it wasn't that great of a game. It was okay. So I guess if you're excited, but it's not. This isn't enough to draw me in, or at least not enough to pay full price. Guerrilla is set in 2125, 50 years after the events of Red Faction. The insurgent guerrilla fighters of the newly re-established Red Faction take on the Earth Defense Force to liberate Mars from its oppressive regime. The original game was released in 2009, and we gave it an 8 out of 10 for both the PC and console version, which didn't have the strongest story and character development, but there was great fun to be had elsewhere, with our reviewer saying, and I quote, "The addictive thrill of pummeling buildings into tiny bits is something you won't regret experiencing," end quote. Okay. Sure, I guess I'd give it a 7, because it really wasn't a bad game. It just... that concept got old to me really quick, and I just... I wanted more... I wanted better story. That's... There we go. It's not clear if the Remastered Edition will include the 3 DLC packs, which includes the campaign expansion, Demons of the Badlands, the multiplayer pack that added new multiplayer modes, and the Smasher pack that added Wrecking Crew mode. Rumors of the remaster were circulating in January when a number of European GameStop listings were spotted for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The remaster is set to be released for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, with the exact launch date to be confirmed. Update to the story. THQ Nordic has confirmed that that Remastered contains all the original game's DLC. Steam owners of the original game will be able to upgrade to the Remastered Edition for free. So yeah, like I said, I'm not super excited just because I'm not super interested in the game. I might or might not play it. The only way I'd play it is if I can get it on sale. I'm not paying full price. That's my take. Coming up, honestly, this is a game that people really get mad at me for saying I've never played. Is Mark of the Ninja. It's getting a remaster. Article Austin Wood, PC Gamer, again, another super short article, but really a lot of the ones here in the end are just pretty short. I have 2 more that I can expand more on in these last 2 that are kind of interesting, but let's power through this one. Mark of the Ninja Remastered will freshen up one of our all-time favorite stealth games later this year. Developer Clay Entertainment, I think that's correct, announced a standout even among Sterling repertoire. Mark of the Ninja, originally released in 2012, and while its cartoony art has aged well, Clay reckons it could do with a tune-up. So for the remaster, they're targeting, and I quote, fully redone 4K visuals for both gameplay and cutscenes, along with enhanced audio and new particle effects, end quote. The remaster will also come with the content from Mark of the Ninja's Special Edition DLC that includes a new level, 2 new items, a suite of non-lethal takedowns, and a helping of developer commentary. The developer hasn't shared much else on the remaster, but in a follow-up tweet, the studio did note there, and I quote, working out reward paths for existing players depending on if they own the regular game versus also owning the special edition, end quote. So it's possible existing Mark of the Ninja owners will receive some sort of discount or in-game compensation. Like I said, I didn't play Mark of the Ninja first time around. I kind of missed out, but from everything I've heard of it, it's really cool. I believe it's a 2.5D game. I'll definitely check it out. That's, again, kind of what I'm saying. Ooh, I missed this. Spec Ops The Line, free on the Humble Store. Check it out. Spec Ops The Line was a kick-ass game. And I also just noticed there's Phoenix Point gameplay, and that's from, it's not from the developers of XCOM, but it's very similar to XCOM, and it's kind of concept. I've talked about it before. It looks really neat. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about Mark of the Ninja. Sorry, I got distracted by the stuff at the bottom of the screen. But all in all, go check it out if you liked Mark of the Ninja, or if you're like me and missed Mark of the Ninja and you want to check it out. Moving on, Game Informer article, Lindsay Lohan likeness lawsuit from Grand Theft Auto 5 dismissed in Court of Appeals. Now, I looked this up earlier. This lawsuit goes back to 2014. Or at least I was finding articles about this from 2014. Why did this lawsuit go on this long? It is a waste of resources. I can't clap faster than I speak. Ah! Oh, Christ. I really don't get why this lawsuit even existed in the first place. It was absolutely ridiculous. The fact that it was, yeah, Lindsay Lohan saying that this chick was modeled after her, or there was a character in the game was modeled after her. Maybe the character was based on so many, Hollywood, stars or famous actresses who had that initial success and then fell off the wagon when it came to drugs and so many other issues. And I don't see the likeness. All right, the article reads, Lindsay Lohan has been accusing Rockstar of taking her likeness and using it for Grand Theft Auto 5 for a number of years now, but it appears she might be at an end for a long legal journey with a dismissal. I still can't believe it went on this long. The suit was originally filed shortly after the game's 2013 release, when the actress from Freaky Friday, Mean Girls, and a whole lot more alleged the Rockstar had invaded her privacy by using her likeness without her permission. Whoa. All right, one. No. This right here invaded her privacy. Look, I'm not a master when it comes to legal issues. I'm taking communication laws and whatnot right now. So I'm paying a little bit more attention to certain legal issues. But it did not invade her privacy by using your likeness is not an invasion of privacy issue. Using your likeness is, I believe it's some sort of branding issue, but it's not an invasion of privacy thing. One, I mean, especially when you're a public figure. No. All right, let's see. She filed a lawsuit against Take-Two and Rockstar over the character of Lacey Jonas, which Lohan said was based on her in New York. Again, maybe. But I mean, it was based off of. If it was based off of her, it was based off of her and so many other famous Hollywood movie stars that had a similar trajectory as her. They were going up. I loved Mean Girls. Honestly, I liked the remake of Freaky Friday. Whatever. And then just her career took a giant nosedive. It did. Lohan's suit was dismissed by a panel of 5 judges who ruled that even if the character resembled Lohan, it was not used for a purpose of advertising to make people think Lohan was in or marketing the game. Lohan's lawyers appealed, which has also now been dismissed. For the love of God, people. Ugh. By the New York Court of Appeals, New York's highest court. The Court of Appeals acknowledged that video game depictions do constitute portraits under the state's publicity laws. Those depictions don't appear in Grand Theft Auto 5. And I quote, "We conclude a computer-generated image may constitute a portrait within the meaning of the law," wrote the court. "We also conclude, however, that the subject images are not recognizable as plaintiff and that the amended complaint, which contains 4 causes of action for violation of privacy pursuant to civil rights law 50 and 51, was properly dismissed." End quote. Seriously, is that really? That's a violation of privacy claim? That's absolutely ridiculous, because that shouldn't be. It shouldn't be taken as a violation of privacy issue. This most likely puts an end to the legal battle between Lohan and Rockstar, with few avenues left to pursue her case. Our take: I always thought it did looked a bit like Lohan, but not enough that it's actionable. I wonder if if this empowers Rockstar to not worry about celebrity likenesses with their future games, or convinces them to back away from anything remotely similar. All in all, do I see the likeness after she filed the lawsuit? Sure, I see a similarity, but all in all, if I would have seen this picture, I would never have guessed it was Lindsay Lohan. That would not have been my guess. I think she had a better case for the Lacey Jonas thing, that they used her personality and her whatever to make Lacey Jonas. But even then, it's like I said, it's a stretch, because I still think that for the character of Lacey Jonas, they use multiple kind of like starlets and that are kind of rise and fall to make that character. Plus Grand Theft Auto has always been massively satirical, so it's just making fun of, and with Grand Theft Auto 5 taking place where it did, I think that was the entire point. It was to make fun of the stuff that happened to people like Lindsay Lohan and other stars like her. I think, if anything, that was her best case, and even then it's satirical and it's joke, it's art. There's not really anything to sue over. So, all right, moving on. Final article for the evening. I think another fairly short. A lot of short articles this week. Kansas passes anti-swatting bill in wake of Andrew Finch shooting. Article by Chris Mose of Destructoid. Dangerous prank could lead to a felony charge. Article reads, earlier this week, the Kansas Senate approved the Andrew T. Finch anti-swatting bill, which has since been sent to Governor Jeff Collier, I have no idea how to pronounce that, for final approval. The new bill was drawn up after the tragic death of Andrew Finch in December 2017. Finch, 28, was shot dead by police outside his home after a fraudulent call was made regarding a supposed hostage situation at his residence. 25-year-old Los Angeles resident Tyler Barris was later identified as the individual who made the call and was charged with involuntary manslaughter. Under the new law, anyone making a swatting call that results in death or severe injury will now face a level 1 felony charge with, dependent on the individual's criminal record, can carry a prison sentence from 10 to 41 years. Good. And I quote, I'll finish this stuff up and then and I quote, "I'm very happy that it's named after my son," said Andrew's mother, Lisa Finch, of the new bill. "If it prevents even one tragedy like this happening to another family, that will be amazing," end quote. Kansas passing, yeah. I'm trying to remember is this the situation where that guy was in a dispute on Call of Duty with someone? I could be remembering a different case. I can't remember exactly when this one happened. I think this is the one that I'm thinking of. Wasn't this the one that this guy was in a Call of Duty dispute with another gamer, and then calls the police on him because the guy's, it's like, "Where are you? I'm gonna come kick the shit out of you." The guy gives him a fake, or what he believed to be a fake address, and it ended up being this guy's. They show up and shoot Andrew Finch. Is that this case? If anybody remembers, tell me. I think that's what this one was. All in all, good. I mean, I find it sad that we have to make an actual anti-swatting law, that people think this is fucking funny. I mean, one pisses me off as a taxpayer, is knowing that tax dollars and police resources are being used on this. On people getting into gaming arguments. Motherfuckers, it's really hard to make me offended. It's really hard to make... I mean, it's not hard to make me angry, but it's really hard to make me offended and disgusted in people. And this is one of those things that just does. It's like, really? You have that much of a dispute with someone that you're going to call the fucking police on them for nothing? Really? I don't get it. Is it funny? Is it... And I don't like to play the moral police, but I don't get why people think that's a good plan. Because, again, someone's going to end up... I just don't get it. I flippin' do not get why people think that's funny. It really makes me mad, and I find it ridiculous that we have to have a law, but like I said, good. Because I think that what this guy got charged with, I think he should have gotten a harsher charge than involuntary manslaughter. I guess technically that involuntary manslaughter is the correct charge, but I think he should have gotten more. I do. I think what this guy did was absolutely disgusting. And hell, I think what people do, when people do this to just YouTubers in general and nobody dies, it's disgusting that people would waste police resources in this way. Again, and that's not even a word I like to use. It sickens me that I have to use the word disgusting and how dare you and just play the moral busy, but I fucking hate that shit. I really do. But this is one of the few topics that'll get me in, just because I think this is such a waste of time. This is such a waste because I see, again, it's a waste on so many levels. It's on public funds, police time, on a waste of life, a waste. It just so much. And again, and I'm someone who takes video games super seriously, but this is, but not. I don't want to say these guys take video games way too seriously. I don't want to say that, but I mean, come on. Really, and I'm gonna stop busy, but I'm gonna move off I'm gonna even move off this article and just look at. It's better, because I will just sit here and just rant about this and just not even do actual commentary. Like I said, good. I'm glad that this is actually happening, and I'm glad that yeah, I'm gonna calm down now. All right. Now on to my last topic of business today. Like I said, Somori at the very beginning of the video, Somori Roden gave me a suggestion for a video, and I didn't think I had enough for its own video, so I thought I'd kind of talk about it at the end of the news show, because I really didn't have a whole hell of a lot to talk about this week. So, as far as my E3 predictions, I'm kind of going to go... I'm going to try and do this in order of likeliness to happen. I think the most likely thing that I want to see that will probably happen is we're gonna see Cyberpunk, and they're going to give us a release, at least a tentative date of after 2020, of 2020 or later is my guess of when we'll see that game actually released. But I don't have much of a doubt that we're gonna see Cyberpunk there, just like we're probably gonna see Gwent at E3. Beyond that, other things. I'm not going to say this. And this is the order of things. Something that's probably even way more unlikely is still involving Cyberpunk. Something probably super unlikely, but this is more of a wish than a prediction. But I really want to see them come out and say, yeah, here's a look at Cyberpunk. Here's like a new trailer, or maybe here's a gameplay chunk, and we're gonna give you like a little idea of what's going on. Oh, yeah, and by the way, next year, 2019 is when you get to play it. I hope for a similar thing with The Last of Us Part 2, which it would be my guess. I think that's way more likely than Cyberpunk being next year. I think The Last of Us Part 2 in 2019 is doable. My guess would be 2020, though, for that game. But I do think we're going to see something for it at E3 during the Sony press conference. And speaking of games like The Last of Us, I got to talk about Days Gone. I really don't want to see that and The Last of Us in the same year. And I think Days Gone is closer to being finished, yet they already announced that it's not going to be 2018. For the good love of God, release that game. But my guess for Days Gone, it's going to be next year. It's going to be that one. I have more confidence saying that Days Gone is going to be in 2019 than Last of Us. But if they're going to be in the same year, I want Days Gone at the front half of the year, and I want The Last of Us Part 2 at the end. I want plenty of time to explore both of those games in their own rights. What else? Moving over to, I guess, some Ubisoft ideas. I want to see something done with Assassin's Creed. Either more expansions for Origins, or here's the next thing we're working on. Maybe not this year. Maybe it's not going to be another, here's this year, we're going to have a new Assassin's Creed game again, a year after Origins. Or maybe something that's going to come out next year or the year after. Give me an idea of what you're working on, because I want to know what is the future of the franchise. I have no doubt that we're going to see something, or I'm pretty sure we're going to see something Assassin's Creed related, but my question is what? Other Ubisoft stuff that we'll probably see, the Division 2. That's probably a definite. We'll see stuff there. For that, what else? There's one other Ubisoft thing I was thinking of. Beyond Good and Evil. No, not Beyond Good and Evil. Yeah, it was Beyond Good and Evil 2. I bet we're going to see something more for that. And I hope either we'll see something for story, or we'll see something for that game in some way, shape, or form. But I have no doubt we'll finally see something for that game at E3 this year, because I think they've been kind of teasing it, or they teased it last year and then just kind of went away from it. So I'd expect to see more Beyond Good and Evil stuff. What else off of that? I hope we get to see some more of Metro Exodus. maybe some more gameplay, or dear God, give us a release date for that. I really hope it's by the end of this year that we get to see that new Metro game. There's one other, before I get into my kind of like last prediction, something I really do hope we see. I question if we will, but I think this is something that Xbox has to do, because we really don't have any big exclusives for the Xbox coming up. None that I can really think of. Something I really hope we see. And I mean, maybe we'll see something for a new Forza, but something I really hope for a new Xbox. Bring out the Coalition, Gears of War 5. Talk about, or at least talk about, let me know it's happening, because I really want to know. I really hope Gears of War 5 is happening, because I think Gears of War 4 ended with a sort of a cliffhanger. I'm not going to spoil that in the event you haven't played it, / I can't fully, I remember it ended with a spoiler. It had to do with a necklace, and it just, again, I don't want to say too much of what I remember, because I don't want to spoil it, and I don't want to say, you know what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, Gears 5, I really hope is happening. I really like Gears 4. Not necessarily in the same way that I like Gears 1, 2, and 3, but I still like Gears 4, and I hope we're going to see Gears 5. And the last thing that I'll say that I expect to see this at E3, but how much of this prediction is going to be right, I don't know. The big thing that I really want to see at E3, it's going to be during the Bethesda conference. I really question what all Bethesda is going to do this year, but the one thing I really want to see them do, come out, Elder Scrolls 6. We know it's in development. We know they have it in their pocket. Come out and do. And here's the other thing. Not only do I think that we're going, I really do think we're going to see Elder Scrolls 6 in some way, shape, or form at E3. What I'm really hoping we see is they're going to pull a Fallout 4 with it. They're going to come out and like, here's some gameplay, and here's like a really cool like sizzle reel and a trailer. Oh, and by the way, you'll play it by the end of this year. Drop the mic and walk out. That's what I'm really hoping we get to see with Elder Scrolls, but I have no doubt that it's going to be there in some way, shape, or form, because otherwise I don't know what Bethesda's going to talk about. I don't know any of their other IPs that they have something going for. I think that's going to be it. But yeah, there you go, guys. There's the weekly show this week. Kind of an odd format, kind of a little bit, not necessarily an odd format. I don't know exactly how to express this. It's just not a whole hell of a lot of news this week, so I just threw in some odd topics that maybe you guys would find interesting. Thanks for watching. Facebook, Twitter, the website, minds.com. Links, all that stuff is down in the description below. Over on the website, I'm trying to post more reviews now, and I'm also going to start doing more actual like news articles, so go check that out if you're interested. Like I said, all my social media is in the description. Those are great ways to talk to me, along with the comments below. You can also remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Both of those help me know that I'm doing a good job, help me know that I'm showing you guys what you want to see. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'm AJ Gels, the Untitled Gaming Channel. I'm out.